Welcome back everybody to another video. You have clicked on a great video that I have just discovered that my 4K UHD receiver can output 120 Hertz. Now I'm gonna briefly tell you how I stumbled upon this and how I'm running it, and a gameplay test on the frames per second or refresh rate later on in this video. And now if I can do this on my UHD receiver, perhaps you're going to be able to do this on yours too. And if you're able to do that on your receiver, if you don't mind, in the comments leave the brand and model of your receiver that you're able to do this. And typically, if you were to look up your receiver specs, it's not going to show you that your receiver can do 120 Hertz. Now, in order to run 120 Hertz, of course, you're going to need a gaming device that can output 120 Hertz. You're going to need a monitor or TV that can do 120 Hertz. You're going to need at least a 2.0 cable wires, or you have to have an 8K 60 receiver that can do 120 Hertz. Now, obviously, a lot of us that run 4K UHD surround sound, we're gonna bypass our 4K UHD receiver and directly connect the HDMI to the back of our display or monitor to get that 120 Hertz. But the bad thing is that even though my TV, for instance, can do Dolby Atmos for enhanced audio return channel, anything that you run audio return channel is not going to be as deep or have as much thump as if you would run it through your receiver. And as far as I know, my TV doesn't have DTS:X master audio for the enhanced audio return channel. But how I discovered this was that since I have two Xbox Series X and I'm running 120 Hertz on both my TVs, I ran out of HDMI ports. So I had no choice but to connect my Xbox Series S to the back of my 4K UHD. Now, I'm just going to tell you what I'm running. I'm running AudioQuest 2.1 HDMI cables to the back of my LG C9, which has 4 2.1 ports on the back of it. I am running the Xbox Series S to the back of my 4K UHD receiver by ARCAM AVR 550. So that is what I'm pretty much running but for sure this ARCAM can do 120 Hertz. But I'm pretty sure if my 4K UHD receiver can do 120 Hertz, I'm pretty sure your 4K can do 120 Hertz too. And obviously, when you look it up the specs of your receiver, most likely it's just going to tell you that it outputs 4K, and it's not going to tell you that you can do 120 Hertz. So how I stumbled upon this was that in the menus of the Xbox Series S, because you're going to need an Xbox Series S or X to conduct this test, in the menus of the Xbox Series S, what I did was on the color range YCC, I checked that, and everything would be checked on it. And on that's for the color range, and then for the color bit, I changed it from 10-bit to 8-bit, and when I changed it from 10-bit to 8-bit, it gave me the option to do 120 Hertz. Once I saw that 120 Hertz, I enabled the 120 Hertz on the Xbox Series S, and it gave me native 1080p at 120 Hertz, which is amazing. And I was like astounded, like, how is that even possible? So I say it again, you need at least a 2.0 O cable. You need the Xbox Series S or X. You need a 4K UHD receiver, and you need a monitor or display that can output 120 hertz. And when you have all that on your Xbox Series S or X, make sure that you're running the 8-bit color. That should give you the option to do 120 hertz. And if you don't, and if you're on 8-bit and you don't, it doesn't have the option to do 120 hertz, then your receiver can't do it. So now, since I have it on 120 hertz through my receiver, I did a gameplay test on it, which I'm gonna show you here, and it pretty much is 120 hertz. And obviously, it depends on your game. I tested the Gears 5 game, and on display here, I show you that through my receiver, the 4K UHD receiver, I am running 120 hertz, and I am running 1080p at 120 hertz on the Series S on my TV display, and on Gears 5 it is doing 120 frames per second. So I demonstrate all that in this video, and what a wonderful discovery that I found. So you guys give this a shot on your Xbox Series S or X, and of course, I mean, obviously, if you're fine with running, obviously, to get your 4K at 120 hertz or 4K up to 4K at 120, obviously, the only way to get that is either directly connect your Xbox to the back of your display or monitor, or if you have our 8K 60 4K 120 hertz receiver. But if you don't, like I do, I just have a regular 4K UHD receiver, and I actually prefer to run surround sound through the receiver, because I like to run DTS-X master audio, and the only way to do that on the Series S, or the only way to do that, because my monitor cannot audio return DTS-X master audio. It can only ARC or EARC for Dolby Atmos. And like I said, it sounds wonderful and all, but it's more clarity, and it's more sounds better when you run it through the receiver. So now that I discovered this feature that obviously you're not going to see in the specs, but now I can run the full DTS X Master Audio and the full range of surround sound on through my receiver. But of course, it's only 1080p at 120 hertz, but that's fine by me. So I hope that this works out for you guys. Give it a shot. And I'm curious to know, for those who are like me, who just have a 4K UHD receiver, and I don't plan to upgrade to an 8K receiver just yet. I'm just gonna wait a little while if I need to, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna upgrade yet. I mean, I will if I have to, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't think I have to, especially when you can run EARC. But I'm pretty sure this is news for you guys, because I did not know I can do this, and I don't know how I just keep on finding these hidden features. So like I said, try it out for your 4K UHD receiver. Turn it down to 1080p, running at 8-bit color rate, and see if, and then for your color space, I click the the YCC for your color space. So try that on your receiver, because like I said, I'm curious to know what receiver can do it, and it could be all the receivers for the 4K. And if that's the case, you guys are not gonna have to upgrade for a while, you know. So that is it for this video. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hooded Dragons out.